Welcome back to Spiritual Strength. I'm Gene Zanetti, your coast-to-coast spiritual coach from Spiritual Strength, building athletes for Christ. If you want to be an athlete for Christ, you need to know the way, show the way, and go the way. So we're going to do all three of those at Spiritual Strength. We learn our faith, we live our faith, and we share our faith with other people. Okay, so why are we holding this glass right here? So I'm reading a great book right now called Humility of Heart, which is a great recommendation by Father Ripperger, Sensus Fidelium. Talks a lot of great information about traditional Catholicism, Thomism. St. Thomas Aquinas really has a lot of it down. Well, something that I always thought about, when you talk about humility, it's about emptying ourselves. We're so full of ourselves, there's no room for God. So let's take a look at this cup that we have right here, this glass of water. Right? This is basically what I was doing my entire life, and what most people do. Right? You look at how much water is in there, how much room is left for God. Right? Very, very little, because I'm so full of myself. There's very little room for God. So if we wonder, why is God not acting more in my life? Why is my work not as fruitful as it can be? Why am I not feeling those gifts of the Holy Spirit from Galatians 5, the joy, the peace, the love, all that stuff? Why am I not experiencing those fruits of the Holy Spirit? Well, take a look right here at the glass. I'm still too full of myself. Now, what if I did this? What if I started emptying out some of myself? Not great, but a little more room for God, a little bit more room for the divine action, a little bit more room for the gifts of the Holy Spirit. So, the point of Christianity, or one of the main points, is humility, emptying ourselves, not being full of pride. This glass is still very much full of itself. It's still very much full of pride. So, we empty it out even more. And now here's the difference between us, normal people, the saints. This is the difference right here. This is us. We leave a good amount of room for God, but it's still a lot of us. The difference between us and the saints, they take this glass, they take whatever's, all of themselves, including any addictions, bad music that you might listen to, bad movies, impure living, and they basically just take this and say, you know what, instead of being full of myself, I'm done. And then there you have a saint. And you wonder why saints live very fruitful lives. You wonder why God is so active in their lives. You wonder why they have peace, joy, love, all those gifts and fruits of the Holy Spirit. And a lot of them suffered tremendously. So we're not saying that they were always happy. We're not saying that everything went well. But we are saying they experienced the gifts of the Holy Spirit. They started living a divine life. Christ was living through them, because look at, their glass was empty. Now Christ can work through them. And now if you wanted to see the Blessed Mother Mary, what would happen is you would see all that little water, all those little droplets, that would be gone too. So the Blessed Mother's glass would actually be completely dry on the inside. So that's the goal right there. The goal is not to give a little bit for God, a little bit for myself. It's empty the glass. Empty the glass. That's why the Franciscans talk about being transubstantiated into the Immaculate. We need to become Mary. We need to empty ourselves completely. We got to even dry it off. We need a blow dryer to get this dry. But we need to become completely like Mary, completely docile to the Holy Spirit, completely outside of ourselves, and very humble. That's the name of the game. Humility is the name of the game. Salvation is the only game in town. And we need humility to get there. Of course, it's never going to be done without God's grace, but we need to empty ourselves. We need to rid ourselves from all of our pride, all of our addictions, all the gunk, all the things, social media pages we shouldn't be looking at, websites we go to that we don't need to look at, curiosities, affections of the heart, glances at things we shouldn't be looking at, all that stuff. We got to get rid of that. We got to empty ourselves. We need to be transubstantiated. We need to be changed into the Immaculate. And obviously, whenever there's Mary, the Holy Spirit overshadows her and forms Christ. And that's what Christianity is, becoming Christ. And we do it in the womb of the Virgin with the action of the Holy Spirit. The two indispensable sanctifiers, the Holy Spirit and the Blessed Virgin Mary. But hey, empty your cup. Get all the extra stuff out. You don't need any of you. It's a heroic move. This day and age, it's a heroic move because we think, I need to control some of it. I need to do a little bit. If I stop working, God's going to stop working. Wrong. The less there is from you, the more God can work in your life. So less from me, more from Christ. Empty yourself. Become like Mary. Humility. Salvation. It's the only game in town. Spiritual strength. Make sure you stay with us. Make sure you share this video with a friend. God bless you. God bless your families. Take care.